with another episode of To the Moon. And in this one, we've got somebody that I absolutely adore. Stefon, man, I remember meeting you for the first time when we did a meetup out in Texas. Pace and I came out, and I got to shake your hand and see you, put eyes on you. And I immediately remember thinking, I like this guy's energy. I like his whole vibe, the way that you approach people, the way that you approach conversations, just everything about how you operate is attracts me. I think it's awesome, and it's no surprise to me that you've become such a valuable player in the Astroflipping community, and that you've risen to such incredible business heights in your market in this business. And so, before we get into all of that, guys, just want to remind you that you too can be on an episode of To the Moon and have the financial freedom that all of the folks that you've seen on these podcasts have achieved by joining the Astroflipping community. So if you have any desire to do that, you can click on Stefon's link in the description. If you guys like what he has to say, we might even buy him sushi if you sign up. So Stefon, welcome to the Moon, bro. I'm so happy to have you here. How you been, dude?
Dude, I'm also honestly doing super great right now. I've been learning a lot just ever since been in the program like 18 months. So now it's been kind of one of those places as an entrepreneur, I had to learn about how to actually have money, not just make money. It's not how much you make, it's how much you keep. So I've been learning about a lot of that stuff and learning a lot about myself and how I act with money.
Yep.
So a lot of what you taught, which a lot of people think is like woo-woo and nonsensical, is super on a deep level that a lot of people we don't even know because we don't even get to play around with money. And people in my family did not have like money to play with, or my people did not have money. So I'm like learning about all this new stuff. My stepdad calls it, he's like, you're going to be nuevo rich, new rich.
Well, you're absolutely right, dude. And it is a whole learning process in figuring out how to, for sure, what you said, keep more of what you're earning, but also the things to do with it, right? Like inflation is crazy right now, 9-10%. And that means just keeping your money in the bank is a bad idea, because if you think about what we call a good investment out there, right? A good investment yields you 10% returns year over year. That's like phenomenal. If you're making 10% on your money, you're doing a great job. You're losing 10% of your money right now with it sitting in the bank. So your money is doing a bad job. Okay. Your bank account is doing a bad job. And so Stefon is absolutely right. How are you treating the money that you earn in a way that will continue to grow and not devalue itself? Because guys, it doesn't matter if you make $1 million. If $1 million can only buy you a Big Mac in 10 years, what is it? Who cares? That's what we're talking about, right? And so before we get into all of that, I want to just take us back and rewind us, to your origins, because, like you had mentioned, we've known each other for 18 months and, because time moves so fast, but also slow sometimes, right? And so I feel like I've known you way longer than 18 months. I feel like I've known you for a decade, but in the short time that we have known each other, 18 months, a lot has happened. So take us back to the beginning. How did you find us? What was that experience look like when you first got involved in the Astro program, and how does it look now?
Okay, sweet, man. I'll take you back even before. So it was probably COVID. I'll give you my origin story. This is how I got recruited to real estate.
Yeah, so tell us about when your mom met your dad.
Okay, so back in like 1940, whatever, my parents met. But actually, it was 2019, and I was still working in the restaurant industry. And I worked 2 jobs pretty constantly. That was like my thing because I have a lot of energy. I was going to school because I wanted to be an engineer. And then what else? And then I had a full-time girlfriend. But at this time, I was just kind
hilarious. I thought you were going to say I had a full-time job, but like the way you said that, I have a full-time girlfriend. Oh, which can be a job depending on the girlfriend or the boyfriend, right? If they're like high needs or
100%. You're an entrepreneur and you're like, so when am I supposed to like sleep and eat and go to the gym and do all this other stuff? It's like, well, I got 50 things on my plate. So it was 2019. I'm working in the restaurant industry, and I went to what did I do, man? I got connected through Connected Investors to a lender.
Yep.
And he does like mentorship and stuff as well. So I went to a seminar. It was free. I took my brother there. I thought we were gonna do like fix and flip together because he's a carpenter, and they sold me a course. I was making like probably like $10 an hour, maybe a little bit more. And they were like, "Well, so you can have all of your dreams, Stefon, for like $10. Okay, or, sorry, $10,000. That's what it was." I was like, "Oh my god, I don't even have 10 grand. If I had the money, I would buy it." And the sales guy was like, "Well, look, I can put you on this credit card, and if we get approved, you done." And I was like, "Okay, let's do it," right? Because that's the kind of person I am. I was like, "Let's do it." I've never invested in myself outside of college, but college is like they finance me the debt, and I was always wondering, like in my classes, like when do I learn how to make money? That's really all I cared about. I was honestly
That is
like,
a great thing to think about when you're in college.
how do like what am I supposed to do? And so I spent 10 grand on a credit card, and I didn't really understand it, but I took that risk. I got like a couple of like it was basically like the mastermind, but I got like two of them, and they taught me two different things. And so I knew all of this information about real estate, and I did that from
Was it
20.
good information though? Did you learn stuff in it? Was it?
Yeah, but it's like this, right? And this is where the one thing I think you guys do so much different than anybody else is community. Okay. And because we focus on wholesaling, right? We're the connectors, which is one of my superpowers, to be honest. I love connecting people. But when you just have education and you're just left to just study that, it could take years. And it took me 2 years to get a deal from that. But this is before Astro too. And it was funny because one of the New Reach members, they called me, his name's Oscar.
Yeah, and I love Oscar. He's not at New Reach anymore. He's doing something totally different. But Oscar, if you're watching this right now, we miss you. We love you, bro.
Bro, and dude, he closed me the smoothest close I've ever had. I was asking him like, so what does it take to get started? And he's like, okay, here's how it breaks down.
Well, we don't sell, right? We're presenting information, and like really, it's a community. So I feel like if you have found us, and if we're talking, I don't believe in accidents. I think that there's a reason for it, and you're gonna answer the call or not. You're either gonna decide this is for you or not. And if it's not, cool. And if it is, welcome to the family.
Love it, right? And that's how it is. And so when people are like hitting me up for all this training, I'm like, well, like you could come to me, but there's this guy named Jamil who can give you all of the sauce. He's been doing this longer than I have. And they have a whole course, they have a whole system. And I'm like, just come into the community. Because even if I teach you just the basics of what we do in Astroflipping, that is like a fraction of what it's going to take for you to really get to the finish line and start building like your brand, your reputation, helping people. Because there's so many more things like when we bring in new people and we get to help them and then watch them grow.
I know
is game changing. You're like, dude, they got a deal. They made money. They feel good. You see how they are.
And I've been watching you do that a lot. I've been watching you really, really help a lot of the new folks that are coming into the program find a place. You've hired some, you've brought them onto your team. And so like, I see just how dedicated you are to giving back and showing love the same way that you were shown love. But what was it like for you in the beginning, right? Like what was that first deal and how long did it take? And what was all that like?
Cool. So we'll rewind. So it's 2020, COVID hits. I quit both of my jobs and
what were your jobs? Your restaurant industry and what?
Yeah, a server. And I would do like bar backing, serving, whatever it took. And then I was full-time at school, but it took like a mental shift. It took me 2 years of studying real estate to really be like, even if I haven't made $1 in it, this is where I want to be. Cause I see people around me make money and more money than I've seen other people make. I know real estate's legitimate. It's not like, I don't know, some other things, but I just knew like real estate was awesome. And so I had a talk with my stepdad, and he's a great guy. I love this guy, but he gets trapped in the employee mindset a lot of times.
Yeah.
He makes multiple six figures, but sometimes that's the trap. And he said, look, Stefon, if you never want to work for somebody again, you don't need a degree. Okay. But if you ever want that backup plan, that fallback plan, go get the degree. And I was like, I don't need a backup plan. That's it. I told my counselor, I said, look, I'm ready. I think I'm good. I haven't learned anything in school. I learned one thing in economics, which is that the bank takes my money and lends it to you, and then you put it back in the bank, and then they just relend your money. And that's all I learned in all of college.
It's like one of the things that I realized that we live in a scam when I learned about the banking system, and that if I give a bank $1, they loan my dollar out back to me and everybody and 10 and 9 other people.
9 people, 9 times.
Because you can lend $1 out 10 times as a bank. So it's 10 times, right? So and I'm one of the people that I'm borrowing from. It's like this whole it's like still don't understand how people just don't burn banks down when they realize how messed up the financial system is, and how set up against everybody's success it all is, right? It even to the point of college, right? That you brought it up and you went there. I went to college, and I can tell you it's one of my regrets, because I just understand how worthless it is. And I'm going to be one of those people that my children, unless they want to be doctors, accountants, or lawyers, I'm like, there is no need for you to strap yourself up with all of this debt. I'm not paying for it because I don't believe in it. I think it's trash. I've been through it. I understand it's a big drinking party. All it is time for people to go play. And it's really, I think the reason why parents are so bought in is because you've had your kids living in your house, and taking up space and food and resources and all this, and finally it's like it's an opportunity for them to like get out on their own. And so parents are like, go, yes, do it. Go to college, get experience, go have the college experience, which I think the college experience just means give us our house back.
That's it. That's all it means.
Give us our house back. We want our house back. I want to get laid again. You know what I mean? I think that's what's happening. And parents are sending their poor kids off to go get saddled with all this debt. And what am I going to learn? What am I going to take from an anthropology course that I'm going to go apply into the world right now that's going to give me anything? That's going to give me any ROI.
And that was one of the biggest things, was because once I started learning real estate, I hadn't done a deal yet, but I was so focused on it. And this is like the main thing. I put all my attention that I didn't have other time to listen to podcasts like Pace. Pace was very loud at the time still. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't know. I don't have these deals. But putting out that content so that people like me could absorb it. I was in class, like statistics class, and I'm just not a stats guy. And the teacher got mad at me, was like, Stefon, I need you to put your phone away. And I was like, teacher, I'm trying to pay for this class. It's like a $5,000 class. And I don't have $5K. Okay. I got to make $5K. So I'm going to make the money to buy this class, and then we'll be good. And that was one of the first kind of eye-opening moments. And so when COVID hit and everything went virtual anyway, I actually didn't even have social media at the time. I didn't have Facebook or anything. So I was like, you know what? College isn't for me. I think I'm just going to go explore stuff. And so I quit in like March, and in August in my neighborhood, I found a deal. And I think you'll relate to this story because you found your first deal walking your dog, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't walking my dog, Penny. She's laying on the bed, but she like ran out the house, and there's a cat lady. She had a bunch of cats in her yard, and Penny's over in her house causing a ruckus. Well, I go and I meet her, and I'm just talking to her. We finally get my dog back, and I tell her about what I'm looking to do. I'm looking to buy houses and real estate. And coincidentally, there was another old lady down the street who had been trying to sell for like a year. And I'm like, okay, let me just go talk to her. I'll let her know you sent me. Thank you so much. I'm so glad my dog escaped from the yard. Let me go drop her off, and let me go talk to this nice old lady. And that was the first person that I ever got to help in real estate. And it was beautiful because I didn't try to negotiate with her. I just like sat down and was like, hey, like, what's going on? Like, I've been told you tried to sell this to like 5 people. You couldn't get the sale done. What's going on? What can I do to help? And it was such a crazy situation. I think Pace calls them rabbits, but her rabbits were like, she had a mortgage. Her husband passed away, so we had to do probate. She had a bunch of medical issues. Her mom lived in Maine. So there was like a ton of things going on with this deal. And she gave me such a good price. Like she asked for a specific price. And I just was like, okay, I'm not going to negotiate with you. I'm going to help you. Which is honestly what we do in Astro. Like, I don't even try to negotiate with people. I'm just like, how can I help you? And this is before Astro, guys. So I literally am trying to help this lady. And I got greedy. Okay, I was gonna make a 30K assignment on it, and I wanted like 50. I got greedy, and I bought the house using hard money and 100% hard money financing. So it's crazy. If you get good enough deals, they will lend you all the money to buy it. And I learned so much about contracting that I still am not great at contracting, but doing contract work. And we ended up selling it for only like 20K. So I made 10 grand less, but I got my next deal. And it was funny because as I'm getting this next deal, Oscar's like, hey, bro, I still got your deposit for Astroflipping. Like, do you want to do it? And I remember a few things. I remember seeing how you at Keegley got deals. Y'all were talking about like wholesalers, agents, and like 20% direct to seller. And just thinking about all the work I had to do for Miss Debbie, pack up her whole house into a U-Haul, get her to Maine, had to clear probate, just all of these different things that as an acquisition person, I was having to go through for one deal.
Right.
Took months. I probably should have taken the wholesale deal. I would have made more money, but I learned a lot. Okay. And in between then I had gotten a JV deal. So I saw how quick and easy it could be. And it was great. And so as soon as Astroflipping came back, Oscar hit me up. I said, you know what? I have this money. Let me invest into myself. It's going to make sense. I'm literally in the middle of like a commercial deal as I'm in Astroflipping. So I was so bad, Jimmy. I was like, week 1, okay, I need to go to week 3. I need to find where the sauce is because I'm in the middle of this deal that I don't know what's happening. And I'll give you the rundown. This was the first Astroflipping deal I ever did. I just didn't know what it was. And I brought it to you one time because we talked with the agent. Sorry, we talked with the seller. This is how crazy it was. That house I bought, I used social media to connect with somebody who was interested in buying it, who is a flipper. He's actually a good friend of mine. His name's Randy. So Randy, if you ever see this, shout out Randy. Randy comes to my house. He's like, dude, you're legit. You actually do this. I'm like, I'm still new to who I am, but I own this house. I actually own a house now, and I own my grandma's house. This is the house we're in now. But all sorts of cool things started happening. I was just like, this is who I am. I own this house, hard money. Like, I bought this for real deal. Randy's like, hey, I don't do wholesale. His identity was not like, I'm a wholesaler. He's like, but I got this buddy who's got like 14 houses, and I think he's going to want to sell them. I was like, okay. I mean, Randy, let's
I remember this.
I was like,
I remember this.
Like, let's do something, Randy. Like, I don't know what it is, but let's do something.
Yeah.
And he was like, great. And this is how I know he wasn't a wholesaler, because I would tell him to go make the offer, and he just wouldn't make the offer. And he's like, I don't want to ruin the relationship or whatever it was. And I was like, don't worry, Randy. Set us up on a Zoom call. Okay. So I'm on a Zoom call. I don't even have my camera on. This is so bad, because Randy's like, hey, if he sees you're a young kid, this guy's like 60. He's not going to want to do business with you because you're a kid. I was like, cool. I'll just have my off, and I'll try to deepen my voice. And
oh my gosh.
Hello.
Hi, this is Stefon.
That's right.
I hear you got 14 houses to sell.
And
wow.
We started off, I don't know where I got this, but I was just like, I think if we offer him $850, we can do something. And I had a feeling. So we hit him with $850 on the Zoom call. He's like, this is absolutely not going to work. And so I was like, so what do you want for it? Like, tell me what you want. If $850 doesn't work, what do you want? Well, I could probably do 70 a house. And I'm literally, Jamil, doing math. I'm like this. I'm like, okay, so 980. If I give you $1 million, can we get the deal done today? And this is where he totally trips me out. He goes, I'll consider it. Let me talk with my agent. Okay. I'm like, you have an agent? I'm like shocked. I'm like, you have a real estate agent? Like, where was he in the whole transaction? And instead of doing things traditionally, we actually put an exclusive option with the real estate agent. And that was it. Just a 1-pager. It was like a 3-pager actually, because it had all the houses, but we just did an option on it. And I immediately started shopping the deal. That's why I asked you, like, on the call. I was like, what advice do you have? Blah, blah, blah. I was like, I need to figure this out. We ended up doing a JV deal with somebody here in Texas, and they ended up moving it. And we made, closing costs killed us. I didn't know about closing costs at the time, but they killed me. I probably spent like 15 grand on closing costs.
Yep. That makes sense.
I had no idea what it was. So I think at the end of it, we ended up splitting about 50 or 60 on one deal.
That's great.
I'm a college dropout. My dad makes no money. My mom makes no money. The only person that I
I think I remember you saying something like you were grossing a little over 70,000 or 80,000 on that deal.
Yeah, and that's when I learned about closing costs because
Yeah.
my check came in light, and I was like, "What happened?" I didn't know. And
What happened?
I was like, "Why is it only 20?" It was only
Title
like,
companies happened.
oh, I was like, "Man, I need to buy one of those." And so I learned a lot from these deals and getting involved. And it's funny because new people all the time are like, Stefon, they hit me up now, and I'm a lot more experienced, so I can see through it. But a lot of people hit me up now, and they're like, I just don't even know where to start. And I'm like, just go make some mistakes, like go mess things up. And you said it's like light things on fire, just like go set up fires. And if you come up with situations where somebody can help you and you have somebody like me, I'll actually try to help you. I'll be like, okay, what can we do? What's the situation? How close are we to the seller so we know? If there's like 10 wholesalers and they don't want our help, that's different. But if there's somebody who needs our help, like we'll help them.
I
So
think
that was the first taste of it.
the fact is that when you show up with the good intention, you can't really mess things up because you weren't there to do harm. You weren't there to screw anybody over or to create a problem for someone. Like if you truly go into any situation with an intent to be helpful, with a transparency that you are expecting to make money in providing a solution, everybody knows why you're here. Everybody knows that you can be helpful, that you expect to get paid. Then guess what happens? It either works or it doesn't. But no one's like, oh, that guy's a creep, or oh, that person is this way or this way, that way, and I want to sue them and I hate them. No, it doesn't work that way because you showed up with intent, you showed up transparent, and everyone is just like, yeah, here's a dude wants to help. He's gonna make some money in the process of it. I can't blame him. I can't think negatively about that. That's cool. That's normal. That's life. That's business. You know what? When you show up to McDonald's, everybody there is making money.
That's right.
Everybody in McDonald's is getting paid. Are you angry? Are you angry that people are getting paid because you had to have lunch today? No. It's the same way in our business, right? Why are you mad? Nobody can get mad because you showed up and you tried to provide a solution, and for that you made money. So your first deal you make, like, you knocked it out of the park, which isn't normal. Okay, guys, you're not going to typically come in to the Astroflipping program and come in and do a bulk deal on your first transaction. Stefon got super lucky in that and did well. But what did it look like after that? So give us a rundown on the cadence and how it grew from there.
Gotcha. So basically I took that deal. And this is where I learned, like, okay, like there's a lot of things I can invest money into. And so always self-development, a lot of things like that. That one deal all led to more relationships more than anything, because one buyer missed out on it. And so I sold him a different house, and I made another $12,000 by maintaining, like, oh, I'm helping people. And I turned a lot of my fix and flip buyers into suppliers. So they don't want to wholesale. They don't know how to maintain relationships with buyers or even communicate or what.
Well, they're in a different business, right? They're doing other things. They're
I thought it was all the same. I was like, oh, so you do everything. No. Some people only do their thing.
Well, if you want to do something really well, you become a master at it. And then that creates tunnel vision, right? I say this all the time. Anytime that I get burned is when I'm out of my lane.
Every time.
Every freaking time I get my foot stepped on, it's because I stepped outside the lines. I'm like, because I'm an entrepreneur and because I'm addicted to experiences and seeing and trying new things, and I love real estate and I love all aspects of real estate, but I'm a master in wholesale. And I do really well in fix and flip, but I'm a master in wholesale. And then I try to, like, tinker in multifamily and I lose 500 grand. I'm like, what the frick, man? Like, how does this work? And so it's just one of those things, you get really good at something and then you become a master at it and you get tunnel vision. I think that's what you're experiencing with the fix and flip buyers that you have, is that when they're really good at something, they get focused. And so that gave you an opportunity to transform them into deal suppliers. And so that created more volume for you. And then which lane did you go down? Did you go down helping wholesalers more, or did you do more agent outreach?
So for me, I actually ended up doing a majority of my deals through micro flipping.
Wholesalers.
There's a few deals where I would get probably direct to seller, just because I'm always talking to people about real estate, and people are always interested in what I do, but majority of my deals come from other wholesalers who a lot of times just have no idea what value is.
Yeah.
And knowing how to see value is one of the main components of the course, which I think a lot of people miss, like how to actually comp or how important it is and how important it is to sell a deal, because your confidence in the deal is going to determine if you make any money.
Absolutely, bro.
Man, so many times have I had other wholesalers working my deal and the buyer comes across me. Oh, I've already seen this deal. I'm like, well, this is my deal. So like, what do you need to know? They start asking me questions. I'm like, this is the answers. They're like, oh, okay, Stefon, what do you want? Like, let's do the deal. Now they're excited. They're loving.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, they know they got probably, saved about $10,000 in other assignment fees and other things, but that's absolutely real, right? It's a thing that you will find as you do business. More people want to do business with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I love that. So now you're moving and shaking. You've got a lot of micro flips going on. You're building a huge network of wholesalers. And again, I know which market you're in, but for the people listening, where are you primarily working?
So San Antonio is my main market. I move a lot of deals. Like this month, we're moving 7, and so that's just in San Antonio. Also do Houston, Dallas. I've kind of paused Austin because it got real weird. So sometimes comps are this or that, and I always hit up Keegley. Honestly, I hit up Phil, and I hit up a couple of the other franchises, and I just say, hey, what do you think? Because I have
Yeah.
no idea. If they buy it, great. If they don't, I'm like, whatever. It's not really my market. But I really focus down on like San Antonio, Houston, and Dallas, and just try to maintain those good relationships. We call them sticky buyers. I got that from
Mm-hmm.
you, right? We just have
Mm-hmm.
try to develop those relationships either with institutional buyers or even just mom and pop shops to do that. But I'll tell you, last year where I think I got sidetracked and I got burned was I started buying fix and flips, and I didn't have the right crews and everything ready.
Oh,
And I still have those flips. I'm actually hopefully going to get done with them. It's been about a year. But
dang.
that's where I stepped out of my lane and it took a lot of momentum out. And so it was probably October. I joined December 2020. No, sorry, December 2020 and December 2021. Between January and August, I had made about 150 grand profit just from JVing deals and wholesaling. That was
Right.
like, it was crazy. I was like, what happened? And so I had extra cash and I
Yep.
bought 2 fix and flips. Okay. And I was like, yo, I'm going to make 6 figures. It's going to be smooth. And I picked the wrong contractor. And it
Did they
was
steal your
crazy.
money?
It was more like the work they did. Yeah, they stole my money, but the work they did not good enough for code even. And then I got burned on the back end when some materials were supposed to arrive. They never arrived, and so probably lost about 20 grand on one flip. And
That's
luckily,
bro, you got off light.
well, it's not done yet. So I'll let you
Okay.
know. I think I'm in on that rehab. We were supposed to be in at 90. I think I'm in at like 175 right now. So he
Oh.
stole 20 off the top, but like in terms of everything else. So I'll let you know how it
Sorry.
goes because I'm
Okay.
gonna list it. I'm probably gonna come out clean. But what kept me going was as soon as I realized I was like, man, I'm in a money pit. What did I do to make all the money before? And I was just like, I just need to go help some people. And boom, I got a deal from a wholesaler. Got a deal. Okay, next one. I need to get another one. Helped a wholesaler. Helped another wholesaler. I then did a deal this year for $0. Okay, I made $1,000 because the buyer felt bad that I made no money.
Mm-hmm.
They gave me $1,000, and then we went to Ruth's Chris, and I ran up the tab, and we had a great time. I was like, take
So
me to dinner.
2,000. You can blow through a grand in Ruth's Chris if you know
Oh,
what to buy,
yeah,
know what to order.
I didn't even see what the bill was. I said, buy me a nice dinner, and I'll sell you this deal for no money. They gave me $1,000 and bought me a nice dinner.
That's
So
cool.
I like my buyers. And that same seller is an investor. They brought me an apartment complex that I made another 30 grand on.
Amazing.
And I split that, and I split 60 grand with somebody. So I made 30, they made 30. I was like, what? Because I put it in good intentions. And so this year has been a path of like focusing on what I was doing last year that made it work. And that's helping other wholesalers see value, know how to comp, know how to talk to your buyers. I love being able to hop on the phone and literally get a price drop. Like I did this earlier this week on a deal. What's it called? And all I did was call him and I said, hey, I need 3 grand off. And he said, done. I was like, okay. I made three grand in like 10 minutes.
Isn't it incredible? So many people are just afraid to ask, or just afraid to say it, you know? But once you get comfortable, and when you get to be a part of a community that's supporting you, you feel like anything you say and whatever you do, you are a giant because there's more of you. And you said a word, momentum. Momentum is an incredible phenomenon because it's physics. You know that momentum has a physics equation to it. The equation of momentum, the symbol of momentum is P. And the physics equation for momentum is P equals mv. Okay. And m is mass and v is velocity. So momentum is equal to mass times velocity. All right. So thinking of that, you mentioned that you took your foot off the gas, right? Like you stopped doing the one thing and you started doing another thing, right? So what did you do? Your velocity went down
a lot.
So what did that do to your momentum?
I killed it.
It decreased it, right? So guys, understand that these things all have effects. And we are always wondering, we sit and look at when things break. We're like, why did it break? But it's like, no, like it's written on the walls. Like the physics of the universe will show you exactly what will happen when you do this and do this and do that and do that. You just have to understand that every action has a reaction. Everything you do is going to create something. And so if you're going to take your attention off of one thing and go put it on another thing, the thing that you had your attention on is going to contract and slow down. So I love that you brought that up, because so many folks out there who, if you've experienced some success and now you're trying to figure out how to do more, how to get more success, do the thing you did. Do the thing you did, right? Don't go off and try, to start a spaghetti truck. Like, the fuck, man?
I had lots of thoughts, man. I was thinking like, man, I need to go get a job. I was thinking all of these negative things. I should go drive Uber, just anything to pay the bills, because
instead of thinking about the thing that you did that got you paid first, you're like, I'm gonna go drive Uber.
I'm gonna go
Our
get a job.
Our brains are crazy, bro.
And it's crazy because I have to then refocus. Like, okay, Stefon, I could go get a job. Let's say even if I made 60 grand in a year, it's $5,000 a month, taxes, whatever. Like, you can make that on one deal. You can make that on a portion of a deal. You can make it on other people's deals. So I have to like refocus. And then that's why this year, once I started regaining where I wanted to be, we went to Clever Summit, was trying to do more networking events and just getting bigger and getting louder. Just letting people know, hey, how can I help? What can I do? Getting on the calls, letting people know I'm active, and then going to the mastermind to switch up, not switch up, but add additional focus, which is just acquiring properties, right? That's the only difference, because I either have people sending me properties or I have some people sending me properties. Some are agents, some are wholesalers. It's the same thing, right? So I figured, okay, look, I've been so good at this one thing that has made me a ton of money. I think I made 6 figures this year just in wholesale. Okay. I still need to sell these flips, but I'm buying a flip right now, and I'm buying a rental, my first rental, using none of my own money because Pace has a community of people who want to lend me money. I'm loving it.
Awesome.
So awesome. I love leveraging all of this, but it all starts from sourcing the deal. Okay. And this gives me control. That's my favorite word, is control, getting it on deals. So I was like, how can I get more direct to seller without putting a bunch of money into marketing? Boom. Let's try out agents. And we've been having a ton of success since the mastermind, just having discussions with agents. Whether or not the deal comes through is great, but the relationship, it's like a wholesaler, but the wholesaler wants to sell their deal to everybody else. I found it's so crazy to me. I help people get their first deal, and then they want to go sell their next deal to other people. I'm like, no, bring it to me. I want to sell your deal too.
Again, it's the same thing. It's just that, they're like, oh, this worked. But then they're like, okay, I want variety. I had spaghetti tonight. I'm going to go try, Italian sandwiches, and that's it is what it is. But I always know that people come back because they remember, oh yeah, I got that sandwich was moldy. Your spaghetti was good. So
it was good.
That's just it. So today you're running a thriving business. Stefon, how do people get in touch with you if they want to do business with you in San Antonio or other markets?
I would say the best way, to be honest, is social media first, then text my phone number. Okay. Text my phone number. I'm very good at response on text.
What's that number?
726-207-9844. And y'all can just text me. That's my work line. So I've learned I need to have a work line and a personal line.
You got two phones.
One for the agents and one for the wholesalers.
There you go. There you go. There you
We're
go.
gonna figure it out, right? Line dialing.
Awesome.
But that's how people can reach me. Social media works 100% the best. I like people who have an approach or already have a deal or have a problem. I think the people who are like, hey, I just need help, but I don't even know what I need help with. It's hard to help, right? Figure out what you need help with. Figure out where you can get some help. I'm the type of person who I just go get into situations and I make them happen. And it's so crazy, the power of intention. Like just thinking about the deal, seeing it, making a few phone calls, and then it happening and checks are arriving because I know how to do some paperwork. Phenomenal. I love it. And I love being able to teach other people. And then they're like, Stefon, where'd you learn all this? And I go, well, you could just join Astroflipping. I'm like, click on my link or whatever. I don't even know if I have a link. I'm like, go click on my link. Go tell them I sent you. Get involved. And you're going to make all sorts of connections and friends and people you're going to do a bunch of business with down the road. I'm like, dude, that's the place to be at. It's a community. It's not even a course. It's a community. They're like, oh, it's a course. I'm like, no. Course is a fraction of what you need to know.
100%. Yeah, it's not a course, guys. This is a life. Stefon, we love you, bro. Thanks so much for spending some time with us, guys. His information and all the other things are in the description below. The link to join Astroflipping, if you want to use his affiliate link, will be in there. And you got his social media, so give him a follow. Until the next episode of To the Moon, guys, give Stefon some love, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching another one of my YouTube videos. Now it's your turn to go out and take some action. But before you do, like and subscribe to my channel because the law of reciprocity means you owe me.